Hey y'all, it's Krista from Bahamianista.com and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I promised that I was going to do this Trinidad Carnival Q&A recap actually when Trinidad Carnival had ended, but it's going down right now. But I'm not going to Trinidad Carnival 2020, although I wish I was, but I might check out the fete weekend, so Sawaka fete weekend, which I think is MLK weekend. And then there's Caesar's Army, Bacchanalia, 3 events, February 8th and February 9th. So those are some options, some cheaper options from Trinidad Carnival. For me personally, I don't know if any of y'all are going. Comment in the comments below if you are. But anyway, we're gonna get into this video. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. But let me just give you all the gist of the information for Trinidad Carnival. I went to Trinidad this year, and I played with Lost Tribe Carnival for the very first time. And I went to Trinidad from February 26th to March 7th, which was like 8 or 9 days or 8 or 9 nights, give or take. I stayed at the Monique's guest house in Maraval. I went to the following fetes. I went to Mental, I went to Candy Coated Cruise, I went to AM Beach, I went to Punchy Punch, I went to Pandemonium, I also went to, did I say Candy Coated Cruise? Yeah, Candy Coated Love Fest as well. This year, or next year rather, Carnival 2020, Trinidad Carnival 2020 is gonna be February 24th and February 25th. So, I mean, if you haven't started already planning, start now. I don't know what to tell you. I think I started planning, or I made a decision to go last year around a little earlier than this time. So it was like September, October-ish. Yeah, October-ish that I had decided to go. So I was a bit of a late planner last year. But I managed to get it all done, best of my ability. I spent about $3,900 all together, but I'm going to break that down in the questions and answers, so just stay tuned. I was supposed to stay for 9 nights. My flight unfortunately got a little bit delayed and I ended up staying for 8 nights, so that's how much I spent. I actually detailed everything in a blog post. I will put it in the description box below, but basically $3,900 give or take covered my costs from like flight, accommodations, transport, costume, makeup, fetes, juve, that kind of thing. So yeah. So basically all the Trinidad and Tobago Carnival bands are online. They should have a website. If they don't, I would be worried. They're all on social media, so like your main ones like Tribe, Carnival Tribe, Carnival Rogue, Lost Tribe Carnival, Yuma Vibe, Bliss Carnival, all of the major bands, I didn't name all of them, should be online. They should have Instagram, Facebook, a website, and in saying that, they should have email. So basically you could probably DM them. I would say send an email too, just to be safe if you're trying to get in contact to see what options are still left at this point in time. But there may not be a lot, just because I think like the hot period for buying costumes has kind of passed. I think Tribe is basically sold out at this point. So just, you never know, just send them a DM, send them an email. I have stayed in hotels before. I stayed in the Ambassador like my first 2 years, I think, that I did Trinidad Carnival. And then I stayed in Cascadia 1 year, and then I now stayed in a guest house. So Airbnbs obviously are a good option. Usually they're a little bit cheaper, but I find the hotels and Airbnbs tend to be kind of the same in terms of pricing, because basically everybody wants to come to Trinidad Carnival. So you just have to look really early or go through a concierge service that may just be offering that option. I think because the demand is so high, concierge may be your best bet. Although the fees, I don't know if it's expensive or cheap. I haven't used a concierge in a long time. I'd say go with a hotel or a guest house. Go with something that has breakfast included, because you ain't gonna have time to cook. If you have fete after fete after fete, you're not gonna have time to cook. You're only gonna have time to stop for food, or you know, if your guest house serve breakfast, then good on you. I stayed in Monique's guest house in Maraval. A good area to kind of stay in when you look on Airbnb or when you look TripAdvisor, whatever. People say St. James, Woodbrook are the most like closest type of, you know, if you want to be in the mix. I stayed in the Cascade area, and then I've also stayed in Maraval, which I feel wasn't that far away from everything. It really wasn't, in my opinion. It was just that, you know, I couldn't step outside my guest house and then be in the center of things. So if you want to be in the center of things, then you would probably want to stay in Woodbrook, St. James area. It's up to you. At this point, it may be very, very difficult to find housing or guest house, but what I will say is a blogger, Global Carnivalist, she does a really good planning guide for Trinidad Carnival. She, like, this is how I found my housing last year. Like, I literally went to her website and I saw Monique's guest house. And another tip too, when you do try to reach out to these places to see if they have accommodations still left or vacancy, call. Do not email. Call them on the phone, make the long distance call. And the thing is too, what I found as I was calling around, some places would sell out like the next day, and I would call and they would be like, oh, sorry, we sold out, we couldn't hold anything for you, I'm sorry, but this person has XYZ vacancy in this area. And mostly, you know, what I find, the owners of like these guest houses, Airbnbs, hotels, the staff, they're very knowledgeable about the area. Carnival itself, they will point you in the right direction. And usually it's a friend of a friend, that type of situation. But, you know, they were very helpful in terms of like helping me find other places that have vacancy, and then eventually settle in on Monique's guest house. So definitely call. Don't just email. I would say call and email. Talk to a person. I have tried several times, and because my phone wasn't jailbroken or whatever, I wasn't able to get a chip. But I know people that have gotten chips. I think they've gotten like Flow, Digicel, Be Mobile. I would have to say maybe Digicel might be the best, but I'm not 100% sure, because when I go, I usually roam. And because I have T-Mobile and they allow me to roam for a very cheap price, I only need my phone out at fetes to just maybe take some video, record, and then I post later on when I get in Wi-Fi. But I just need it to roam so I can keep in contact with the people I'm with if they're not at the same fetes as me or not in the same band. So that's why I kept my phone on and roaming. And when I looked at the bill, it was fine. Like, I wasn't trying to upload things in the middle of the day. You know, maybe once, like if I was on for Carnival Tuesday, I uploaded a picture of my costume. But that's about it. Like, I mean, I don't foresee myself getting a chip unless I have a jailbroken phone, because I just don't like wasting time waiting for them to tell me, oh, you can't, this, that, and the third, la-di-da-di-da. But I feel like those three, I feel like Flow would be the worst, because I heard a lot of people from other countries like Antigua, Jamaica, complain about Flow. So maybe Digicel or Be Mobile would be your best bet. There's a kiosk right in the airport as soon as you arrive to Trinidad and Tobago, so definitely look out for it. There's also places that you could change money. So if you're looking to change to TT, it's really up to you if you want to change it or not. Some people say it's not worth it to change it, but I ended up having to change it anyway. I only changed about maybe 200, 300 US. It really just depends on the type of person you are. If everything's already paid for, if you feel like you need that much extra money, it's up to you. So yeah, definitely. There's a few kiosks as soon as you arrive to Trinidad and Tobago Airport, POS. So yeah. I'm assuming this is a photographer. There's a lot of photographers out there. There's photographers that are assigned to carnival bands, fetes. I mean, I didn't bring my camera out to Carnival. I took my phone out to record, so it's really on you if you want to bring yours. Just make sure you're diligent in terms of like maybe have a strap on it that goes around your neck or tie it around your wrist. I feel like you have to be as diligent as you would wherever you lived, anywhere else. Especially, cameras are super expensive equipment. But there's tons of people on the road taking pictures and photos and stuff like that. Just be vigilant. Not diligent. Vigilant about your surroundings, and just take care of yourself. Don't like have it flashing around and showing off and stuff like that. I think that's the key to keeping your belongings safe. So I stayed at Monique's guest house. They were very professional, good customer service, very good in terms of sending emails back and forth, dealing with payments. They took credit cards. They very flexible in terms of payments, because I was dealing with a group of people and not everybody was on the same accords, and sometimes that happens, especially around the holidays and stuff like that. Things happen, so it was what it was. I think it was, give or take, maybe $250 something a night, 250 plus a night for like a triple occupancy. And the rooms were clean. It was spacious enough. It would have been like, it ended up just being me and another person, and the third person couldn't come. So we had a lot more space than anticipated, which was good. Also, they had a cleaning service. A guy came in like every day. When we weren't at the fetes, he would clean the bathroom, sweep up, this, that, and the third. The only issues I had was the price versus like the quality of the actual place, what it looked like. You could smell a little bit of sewage sometimes with the bathroom situation. I don't know if everybody else in the guest house was experiencing the same thing. Some pros: they served breakfast. It was very kind of homey. Like you could go up to the front desk and they would tell you when breakfast was starting. It would start a little late sometimes, but they had like a spread. They had fruits, juice, coffee, tea, water, fish, eggs, pancakes. They had a lot of options in terms of breakfast options, so I was really happy about that. And I was satisfied just because I knew that I didn't want to go to the food store and I didn't want to have things stored up in my fridge that I possibly wouldn't have eaten and stuff like that. So the breakfast option is what sold me. I recommend that anybody going to Trinidad get a breakfast included. Like if you could get an all-inclusive option, get that, because honest to God, you can just be eating at the fetes and you can be eating or wanting food in the morning, or maybe after a fete and y'all gonna stop for food. And that's like, you ain't gonna have no time to cook. I don't know, maybe y'all is like Janes or Jacks of all trades, but dog, I was tired, I couldn't do it. So definitely get some place that has food included. Wi-Fi was, I give it a 6 out of 10 because it was a little spotty sometimes. I think there was like 2 different Wi-Fi channels, and it took a while to get things uploaded. They was like mixing up this, that, and the third, So overall, I mean, would I stay there again? Maybe if I couldn't find a better place, and that was like my last resort. Not saying it was, the people there were wonderful, they were so nice to us, but it's just that I think I would prefer something with better Wi-Fi. Just a nicer look for the price. Yeah, so I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't satisfactory. If you just need a place to lay your head down, you need breakfast in the morning and nice people and stuff like that, then it's for you. It's just that I feel like for $200 and something a night, I mean, I know it's Trinidad Carnival, but geez, I feel like, you know, it is what it is though. It was adequate. The one highlight food experience was I went to Mr. Chow's Smokehouse, and they had like the chow, mango chow and stuff like that, and like grilled food, and it was just a nice kind of indoor outdoor vibe. Everybody who came from fete came in there to get like after, you know, food and stuff like that. Also, a friend of mine, Carrie Ann Dookie, she's Trini. She took me and my sister to a Chinese restaurant, and I never had Trini Chinese food before, and I have to say, if you go to Trinidad, you need to go to a Chinese restaurant. Like, you need to. I put all the information in the blog post that's in my description box, so definitely read it, check it out. But a must, try doubles. A must, you need to have some bacon shark. A must, you need to definitely get some Trini Chinese food. If I'm missing anything, any of my Trinidadian subscribers, y'all put it in the comments, because I'm not from Trinidad, so I don't know everything. I personally have a driver ever since like my second year at Trinidad Carnival. He's been kind of in our carnival group on and off. He's very reliable. So I contacted him. He gave me a rate for however many days, what it included. So that's kind of how I got my transport. I just had to make sure, give him an itinerary, because he was very strict on that. He needed an itinerary of where we were going, what we were doing, this, that, and the third, because sometimes it could get a little hairy if you need another friend trying to join in, and they need to pick up here, they need to drop off here and stuff like that. So just needed to keep all of that together, and especially when it comes to costs. So like, just let everybody know from jump, hey, this is the deal. If y'all trying to go XYZ places, y'all gotta let homeboy know so he can give y'all a price. So I recommend sorting out your transport before you get to Trinidad. Do not wait till the last minute, because trying to get home after Carnival Monday night, Carnival Tuesday night is tricky. Like, even Juve time, like, we had a hard time driving around trying to get to my makeup appointment, which was insane. So I'll just start from the beginning, and I'll just say what I liked and what I didn't like about each fete, and if I would do it again. My first fete was mental. It was drinks inclusive. It had a Pirates of the Caribbean theme. It's by Trini Jungle Juice. I had been to Trini Jungle Juice fetes before, like in the States, but not in Trinidad. So it was my first time going. It was a sponsored ticket. So I was doing some like promo for them and stuff like that, but the ticket itself was like $110, drinks inclusive. I get there, bar staff they were super organized. They had the cups laid out, they had all the little decor, everybody was dressed up. They had these girls on stilts dressed up as pirates. I was trying to be like a mermaid with my blue hair, but I don't know if it worked out or not, but anyway, whatever. But they had like little booths with like wine, champagne, Patron. On top of the bar, serving unlimited drinks. DJ Puffy played. It was a nice vibe, like a nice starter fete for Trinidad Carnival. And what I really liked about this fete was that they did not advertise food, but they had food. And when I say they had food, they had chow, they had bacon shark, they had doubles, they had like just a whole bunch of things, more like finger foods, but you could get as much as you wanted, and it wasn't like a super long line or anything like that. They had mobile bathrooms. It was a really good fete. I was kind of upset that I had to leave early to go to Punchy Punch, which was my next fete. A cooler fete, it was like $40-something. Mashell and Skinny Fabulous was supposed to be performing, but we did not stand close to the stage. I was a little tired. There were like booths with like different drinks, like Lucozade, the Fireball whiskey thing or whatever that is. Girls were giving shots. We were taking pictures. This, that, and a third. Let me tell you, I didn't enjoy Punchy Punch. I thought the crowd was a little bit younger, I ain't gonna lie. But I don't know, I could be wrong. Maybe I would have had more fun if I was closer to the stage, but I wasn't closer to the stage. I made the mistake of sitting down on like a little ledge, and I fell asleep for legit maybe 5-10. I'm surprised that I still had my phone and everything. I literally sat down and I fell asleep. Maybe because I was tired, I don't know, but I just didn't have fun at Punchy Punch. I don't think I'd do it again. Or if I did, I'd go closer to the stage and just not be, you know, yeah. Then after that, we went back to the guest house, changed. I fell asleep. And then we headed to AM Beach. The driver got lost. Oh God. We got there at 8 a.m. I feel like it would have been better if we had gotten there earlier if I didn't fall asleep. It was food inclusive. I had some like chicken noodle or beef noodle thing. It was really yummy. The crowd was moving, but I wonder if they was moving a little bit more before we came in. So I can't really gauge for the vibes because we was late. We was dead late. And one of the things I really liked about AM Beach, the first time I went, not this year, was that they had opened up the gates to people, for people to go into the water. So it was a vibe the very first time I went. So I was expecting, I was like, oh, I wondered if they're gonna open the gates. They didn't open the gates. I think because the tide was a little too strong. So we ended up going out around the gates and into the water, but yeah, the tide was really strong. Like we put some of our stuff on a sandbank and the water came in and almost took all of our stuff. So I get why they didn't open the gates. Anyway, after that, I got to sleep. And then I went to pick up my costume. I'll talk about that a little bit later. After picking up my costume, the next fete was Candy Coated Love Fest, which basically was like a love festival, music, a lot of traditional Trinidadian or carnival caricatures like the Midnight Robber, Jab Jab, or Blue Devil. They had pan, people playing pan. They had like these guys with whips. I can't remember what they call them. I'm pretty sure I put it in the blog post. See, it's been a while. And it was just such an interactive experience and an interactive fete. Like the vibes didn't quite get there until like maybe the sun started to set, which I understand, people hot. Like when I got there, everybody was retreating for the shade or whatever, but there was just so much going on that you didn't realize that the vibes hadn't quite gotten to its peak yet, because there was face painting, they had little trinkets, there was like blankets laid out, there was like food booths, wine booths. Like I bought a whole bottle of Soca wine because I forgot that it was a cooler fete, and I didn't realize they wouldn't have a bar. They did have a bar, but they weren't selling alcoholic drinks. They were only selling like shandy, beers, that, and then you had to purchase a bottle for like you and your crew. But it was just me one, so I'm like, why am I purchasing a bottle? But the guy who did Soca wine, the little tent, he let me buy a bottle of Soca wine, so I had that whole bottle of wine to myself. Yeah. Anyway. So as the sun set and like, you know, you got your full of like the entertainment, it was really entertaining, y'all. Like I would do this fete again, like I really would. Nadia Batson came, she performed. There was a couple other performances, but hers stood out the most to me. And it was the song, So Long I See Her, Give Me Your Wine Now, give me your wine now. And I don't know. You know, it just made me so happy to be in Trinidad. I ain't gonna lie, I don't want to cry. Oh my God, don't cry. Anyway, Love Fest, I would definitely do again. It was like $60-something, and food inclusive. So, and you got like food chits. So you got like a meal, a snack, another snack. So I definitely think it was worth the money. After that, trying to think, what did I do? Scorch Pandemonium. So I did not get Caesar's Army AM Bush tickets, because when I decided I was going, I just was like, I didn't want to be in the whole bum rush to get, you know, tickets for AM Bush. I had done it before. a few times, and I was just like, oh, you know what, let me just try something new. Scorch Pandemonium was happening the exact same time, Saturday early morning, 2 a.m. to like 8 a.m. We got there with good time. It wasn't crowded. They had like glow up sticks, glow up everything. They had glow paint, so we was like, you know, squirting people with glow paint and stuff like that. The drinks were okay. I feel like they were a little watered down, but it is what it is, I suppose. How much? This fete was like $70-something, I think. Or 80 something. It was definitely under $100 for sure. But I have all of that in the blog post. Just go and look in the description box, click on the link, you can read the whole thing. Yeah, so it was one of those pre-party, it had like a Juve pre-party, then the truck moved out to the road, and that's when like it gets a little fuzzy. I had so much fun at Scorch. Like, I had so much fun. Oh my God. It was like you didn't expect it to happen. Like, you didn't expect the amount of vibes we had going to actually happen. And I feel like the highlights were voice, and I think Lil Natty and Thunder performed, but I lost my complete mind because I was like, you know, Pandemonium didn't get that much play this year, and I was just like, whoa. Like, they performed it, they played it several times. The fete was named Pandemonium. It was just so fitting. It was euphoria. Like, it was just like so good, babe. Like, all the way till the sun came up. Yeah, I would definitely do Scorch Pandemonium in a heartbeat. Like, it would just be one of those fetes that I'd have to have on my list. I mean, I'd drive for Ambush, but if I don't get it, I don't get it, because I ain't trying to, you know, beggy anybody or whatever and stuff like that. So if you can't get Ambush, or if you don't care to wait, or for you, if you don't care for the process of Ambush, Scorch Pandemonium is definitely an alternative, and a really good alternative. I feel like you will have just as much as fun. So that's just my opinion. Others may vary, you know. Yeah, but I love Ambush too. I ain't gonna lie, I love Ambush, so it is what it is. The next fete that I went to was Candy Coated Cruise, Trinidad. I'd been to the one in Miami. I'd always wanted to go to the one in Trinidad. I kept missing the tickets, or they were sold out, this, that, and the third, Anyway, so I got a ticket. The boat wasn't super crowded. I feel like the highlights were like the people playing pan on the boat. There were performances at the top level. Also, there was this really cute tumbler that they gave us. I still have it. Sometimes I take it to workouts with me. Yeah, so listen, I had a really good time. I definitely had a good time at Candy Coated Cruise. It was a pretty good party. I have no complaints really. The food was fine. It was good. Had a really good time. I bought, Soca Brainwash. How could I forget? I made sure I got there early. Went by myself. The ticket was $180 something. I bought it off somebody else who couldn't go. Thank God I didn't get, you know, done in by the scalpers. But the highlights of this fete for me was definitely the decor. Like, you walk in and you in the 70s. Like, the old school stage, the tribute to like Cher and this person and that person, and then also the greats of soca, calypso, and stuff like that. The different like, this was an experience. It's not just a fete. Soca Brainwash is an experience. It's like how I describe Candy Coated Festival, but just a little bit bigger. The music was varied. When I say varied, they was playing everything, and I loved it. I ain't gonna lie, I loved it. I didn't hear as much 2019 music, soca music, as I wanted to hear, but you know, I feel like they did a really good job just diversifying the vibe and whatnot. The only thing is, I feel like the position I stood in was a little bit, not dry, but I feel like I could have had a lot more fun if I was closer to the stage. So my tip, if you go to Soca Brainwash, go close to the stage. Like, get your food, make a beeline, go straight to the stage, because if you really want to be in the mix of things, you have to be in front of the stage. Another thing that I did not like about Brainwash was the food lines. Like, all I ate at Brainwash was the beef lasagna, nothing else, because everybody, the lines was just so flicking long, babe. Like, I was just like, what the frig, dread? Anyway, I spent all this money just to get beef lasagna. I could make beef lasagna. You understand what I'm saying? So, like, anyway, it was what it was. I had a good time, though. I had a really good time at Soca Brainwash. I feel like everybody should do Soca Brainwash at least once. Trinidad, Soca Brainwash, Trinidad at least once in your life. Do I need to go back? If I can get a ticket without a hassle, then yeah, I'll go back. But if it sells out and I can't get one and I refuse to pay, you know, those upsell fees and all those different things, then I'll be okay. Like, I'd be okay, you know. Plus, there's more fetes going on this year. If you didn't get a Soca Brainwash ticket, you guys can check out, I'm actually a committee member for this fete. It's called the Mother Cunt Boat Experience, the MC Boat Experience. A few friends of mine are doing it. It's the first time they're doing this fete in Trinidad, so I cannot vouch for the experience. But I am a committee member if you need another option and you didn't get a Soca Brainwash ticket. So I'll put the link in the description box for the fete. Y'all let me know. Just request me, Bahamianista, Chris, Bahamianista on Island tickets, and I will approve you. I don't care what you look like. If you want to go, you can go. There's no like screening process over here. So anyway, yeah, those were the fetes that I did, and I had a good time. Yeah, I did not do Juve. I was supposed to. I bought a whole Red Ants package and I didn't do it, but next year I would absolutely do Juve over a makeup appointment, or maybe just do my makeup dead late and go to Carnival Monday dead late. I don't know, but anyway. How was the experience with Lost Tribe? So from beginning to end, I have to say Lost Tribe Carnival is seamless in terms of like delivering the product, Carnival product. The registration was easy. I hit up a committee member via Twitter. She got my email address. She sent me the link for me to register. I paid the deposit. The only thing was a lot of people experience this with the Ultimate Mass platform. Your first payment sometimes always gets declined, I guess because it's coming from a foreign account wherever you're based. But then if you do it a second time, you let your bank know, hey, I'm trying to, you know, do this. They approve it. I paid like $1,100 something for my costume. It's all in the blog post below. Check out the description link if you guys don't want to sift through this video. And I got like the souped up version of Mumtaz, which was a Sean Danaraj design. I'd fallen in love with it from the first time I saw it. I was just like, I didn't see anything else in any other band that I really wanted. I just wanted that. It was different, it was beautiful, it was colorful, it was just me. And the model they used, she looked kind of like me. She was dark skinned, you know, she was beautiful, she was petite frame. So I just saw myself in it. After registration, I went to go pick up my costume. I made a mistake, ended up walking into an alterations department. Lost Tribe has an alterations department. Who knew? And it was good to know. And I actually should have used it because my cape was a little too long. I didn't try it on, and I should have. Make sure you guys try your costume on, try the pieces on at least a little bit, just to see how long they fall and stuff before you leave the mass camp. Anyways, I pick it up. I had paid everything ahead of time. They were running a tight ass ship. Like, customer service was on point, like organized lines, males, females, ticket numbers, this, that, and the third. Very good, like AA++. Get in the line, short wait. Guy goes through my box, through the box of costume items. I get a goodie bag. The goodie bag is a backpack that I continue to wear. I wear it to work every day because it was such a nice backpack. It's probably one of the best goodie bags I've ever seen. They gave me like a bottle of vodka. I don't drink vodka, but I gave it to the driver. He enjoyed it. The only thing when I was putting my costume on after I got my makeup done was I wish they had a manual that explained what ties wear, because there was another girl in the place where I got my makeup done, and I was helping her put her costume on. She was in Tribe, and she had like a whole fold out thing of how to put the costume on, and I didn't have that. And she was like, why didn't they give it? And I was like, I don't know, it would have made sense if they did, but oh well. It took me like 20 minutes to get into the costume, give or take. And it was a lot of costume. It came with the umbrella, the bag, the satin a third. So I loved it. The only thing was the cape was long. It was super long. So a bunch of us that was in the Mumtaz section had to bustle it in the back so it wouldn't like drag and people wouldn't step on it. So that was the only thing with the costume. Other than that, it was beautiful. I had a headpiece, I got a bag, jewelry that I still have right now. You know, in terms of vibes for Carnival Monday, I feel like Lost Tribe has pockets of vibes. So you have this age of people and this age, because you're looking at a group that has literally from 18 years old to 80 something years old. So you have in all types of different ages. And they have a more like an artistic type of vibe. So you get more like an artistic, eclectic type of individuals, and like people souped up their costumes, their Carnival Monday, like they went all out. It was crazy. Like you need to come correct when you come into Lost Tribe Carnival for Carnival Monday. Vibes wise, was it as hype as Trinidad Tribe or Yuma? I don't think it was. I feel like I've had a hyper, more vibesier time in like in Tribe or in Yuma. I feel like Yuma has the best vibes overall for a lot of these bands, but that's just my experience. I don't know. It may vary for others, but yeah, Carnival Monday wasn't my spiel. I ended up leaving the band to go in Carnival Rogue with my sister, and ended up doing their Light Up the Rogue. And Light Up the Rogue was really fun. I ain't gonna lie. Like I would consider playing in Carnival Rogue if I just wanted vibes, and that, you know. But then you don't have to play in Carnival Rogue to do Light Up the Rogue. You can actually buy tickets for Light Up the Rogue. So I think if I did Trinidad Carnival again, I would definitely do that. Like after I'd leave my band of choice and go to Light Up the Rogue, just because, you know, it was fun. Food wise at the lunch stop, didn't have an issue. I wish there was just more space at the lunch stop Carnival Monday. I feel like for such a detailed and artistic band, the bathrooms at the lunch stop were not the best. Like porta potties, you sweating to death. Like you got all these different things going on. Like what? Like I heard the lunch stop was a lot better the previous year, but I don't know, maybe I have to play with them again to see. Carnival Tuesday, I arrived on time. Now, if y'all don't know, Lost Tribe is a stage band, meaning you are going to cross and be judged at least 4 times during the day. And we crossed at least 4 stages. Like we had to get into our sections like 4 times. And it was just, I love crossing the stage, I ain't gonna lie, but it did get a little, like, you have to get your mind right. You have to be like, oh, we crossed the stage again, okay. So you have to know that this is a competing band. They actually compete for Band of the Year. So it's a bit of a shock if you haven't been in a competing band before. So that's something to get used to. I had a really good time. I feel like bathrooms on the road were a lot better. Like porcelain sink, open the door, the little toilets in there, you know, little mobile bathroom. It was air conditioned. It was awesome. I just didn't understand why the bathroom at the lunch stop wasn't the same. Getting drinks on the road was absolutely fine on both days. Absolutely. I had no complaints. They even had like champagne on the road, bubbly, like little carts. I got my breakfast. This is the first time I got breakfast in Trinidad Carnival, and I've always wanted to like get the breakfast option from my band, and I've never been able to do it. But Lost Tribe made sure people got their breakfast option, their snack option, along with the meal. Carnival Tuesday was my favorite. even despite having to cross 4 stages, I had a lot more fun. I even lost my friends for a while, and I was just like, you know what, y'all, if y'all looking for me, I'll be behind truck number 2. I stayed behind truck number 2. I met so much nice people. Nobody was stush. For real, nobody was stush. Like, everybody was having a good time. I met a new friend. I met people that read the blog. It was just amazing. I'm about to cry again. Oh my God, y'all. Anyway, PMS. But I did cry crossing the last stage. Oh my God. Because I had such a good time. I'm more of a costume girl. I love stage. Like, stage is my thing. Stage, okay? And for people that just want to pump, Lost Tribe may not be for you, but if you love the grandeur of staging and costuming and that kind of vibe, it is still a vibe, in my opinion. When I play with them again, I wanted to for next year, but I can't afford it. I had my eye on one costume in particular, but it's already sold out, so I'm not gonna go. To me, it has to be worth it. Like, I have to get the costume I want for me to go. So if I can't afford it and I can't get the costume I want, I'm not going. But I just had such a good time. I didn't even go to last lap because I was just full. Like, I didn't need to go last lap because I just had such a varied experience from my other experiences. All good, but you know, I just had a really good time with Lost Tribe. I would do it again. It's not for everybody. I'm not gonna lie, it's not for everybody. If you pump and you need to be in the thick of things, like you need to be up under, like, you know, like certain people, certain bands and stuff like that, then maybe Lost Tribe may not be for you, but I would say definitely try it at least once. Did I keep my costume on the whole time? I did not. I think I took my backpack off and I gave it to a little girl after the 3rd stage, and because it was just getting heavy and starting to rub, and it was moving with the wind like it was a legit umbrella. So, like, you know, I was just over it, and the little girl was just like, hey, I want it. And I was like, yeah, take this. I kept my cape. I kept everything else except that umbrella. I didn't see myself taking it home because it would have just sat in a corner somewhere. You know, why not give it to somebody that, you know, might use it? How did I survive 4 stages wearing heels on the road? My heels weren't that high, first of all. I got these very well done shoes done by Vivi Glitz and Glam. They were a custom order. She matched the shoes to my costume perfectly. I mean, perfection. Like, at first I was looking at them like, whoa, because she showed me a video online. And then I was like, oh, okay. And then when they came in a box and I put them on, I was like, these are the perfect shoes. Like, she found the perfect boot, the perfect heel height, the perfect size. Like, I was wearing them every day. They had like little tassels hanging from them. So I love them. This is the last question. So I want to ask, how was the music? Did they play the same 5 tunes over and over? I feel like this is one thing Lost Tribe can definitely improve on. Maybe better DJs, better playing of music, because there was one DJ he was pulling from all years, and it was nice variety, but it just didn't flow that well, I guess. I heard Savannah Grass so many times. I mean, I love Savannah Grass, but I just wanted to hear more very different music as well from 2019. But other than that, you know, across the board, I think depending on the fete I went to is what music was played. And I feel like a good variety came from Scorch Pandemonium, Candy Coated Love Fest. And yeah, that's about it. I hope that answers y'all questions. If y'all have any more, just drop them in the comments. I'll do my best to explain how my experience went. I don't know how anybody else's went. And maybe y'all could pipe in and put in some tips for, you know, if you've been doing Trinidad Carnival longer than me. I'm not an expert, definitely not, but I just like to document my experiences. Thank you for watching this video. I'm not sure how long it's going to be. Battery died. Anytime I do videos like this, the battery dies very quickly. Anyway, Make sure y'all subscribe, like, comment, because I'm definitely gonna do more Q&A series on different carnivals I go to. There's a few more coming up, so definitely subscribe for that. I'm doing a really good job at uploading weekly because I really, you know, time is of the essence. You know, people are planning already, so it's got to get these videos out. But thank you guys for watching. Definitely share with a friend. And make sure you are subscribed. Love you guys. See you in the next video.